It was in the mid-2000s when the discussion about the support for multicultural families first started in earnest in Korea. In 2006, the percentage of married immigrants living in Korea exceeded 10% of the total married population. Foreign residents amounted to over 1% of the total population of the country in the same year. With the increasing need for legal basis to protect the rights of married immigrants, the Multicultural Family Support Law was finally enacted on March 21, 2008. With the birth of the support law, the word multicultural family began to emerge. The Korean government has since created and developed related policies, including the announcement of the basic plans at 3 separate times in the meantime. However, as we mentioned before, most of the support policies for these families currently in operation revolve around language education to help married immigrants settle down in Korea. Furthermore, support projects for the differently abled are usually aimed at adults, which is unable to give suitable assistance to differently abled children from multicultural families. Research or statistics about these families are hard to find too. Professor Hyang-ji Kim from the Department of Special Education at Weedok University explained such little public attention to these families has resulted from the lack of recognition of the complicated circumstances surrounding differently abled children from multicultural families.
There is very little research on differently abled children from multicultural families in Korea. Less than 10 graduate theses have been published until now.
The rapid development of transportation and information technology nowadays has torn down the borders between nations, which has made most countries in the world more diverse and multicultural. Different countries have implemented multiculturalism in different ways. Welfare policies for multicultural families with differently abled children have also developed differently in each country in association with their historical and political backgrounds. Professor Kim introduced some cases of foreign countries where the hardships faced by these families started to gain public attention earlier than Korea, and the measures to support them have long been prepared.
독일의 경우는 장애인 의무 교육을 21세까지로 하고 있고요.
The differently abled get compulsory education until the age of 21 in Germany. Their main focus is to be protected and not to be discriminated, and their right to be treated fairly in any situation. Education regarding multicultural coexistence and global understanding are the two main goals of multicultural policy in Japan. These consistent policies are implemented with regards to education, medical care, and welfare.
교육, 의료, 복지 분야 시책이 일관되게 이루어지고 있습니다.
Notably, there's a lot to learn from the related support policy of the United States. The United States has always been a country of immigrants since its foundation. Therefore, the discussion on how to embrace minor groups or individuals as part of society so as to live together has continued in the country for a long time.
미국의 경우 다문화 가정 장애 아동 지원을 위해 특별한 조기기, 말하자면 조기 발견.
Some of the support given to differently able children from multicultural families currently implemented in the USA are early intervention, providing education with medical treatment, financial support for low-income multicultural families,
자녀 양육의 안정화를 위한 심리적 지원을 함께 시행하고 있습니다.
To take a closer look at the actual support activities in the U.S. to help multicultural families with differently abled children, we contacted a local family support organization in the country named Open Doors for Multicultural Families. We talked with Jinja Kwan, the executive director of the institution, over the phone.
Our organization is called Open Doors for Multicultural Families, and it's a family support organization. We are nonprofit. Our purpose is to make sure that families who have loved ones with developmental or intellectual disabilities will get the support they needed, and we provide many different services to support them. So our organization's vision statement is that all culturally and linguistically diverse individuals with developmental or intellectual disabilities and their families thrive in an inclusive society of their design. And we use a cultural brokerage model to navigate systems, to navigate services, provide specialized programming, and advocate for system change.
More than 30 family support specialists are currently working at the institution. Many of its employees are immigrant parents with children in special needs. Therefore, they are able to give emotional support as well as practical aid, identifying with the suffering of the families who visit them to seek help. Based on the children's age and development level, a wide variety of programs are currently run at the institution for both differently abled children from multicultural families and their parents with immigrant backgrounds.
Parents might participate in the parent training, parent groups, and their children might be participating in our youth program. We have an early learning program focusing on 0 to 6-year-old child with their families. And so for that program, we do a lot of parent training. We help families to understand how the early learning systems are and early intervention programs that provide services to children who have special needs, and supporting families transition their children from 0 to 3, the birth to 3 early intervention program to school. So there's a transitional support. We also have a translated ages and stages. That is a developmental screening tool that helps families to identify their children, whether they have a delay or not.
In addition, differently abled children from multicultural families are getting support in many ways too, so that they can grow up to become healthy members of society.
Also, we have youth programs focusing on developing youth social-emotional skills and improve their self-advocacy skills, learn how to advocate on behalf of themselves, and also teach them the pre-employment skills. So we have the youth program that focusing on developing their skills and prepare them transitioning from high school to adulthood, re-engage those youth who drop out from the schools, who have disabilities, and support them to come back to finish their degree, and they can graduate, and support them transition to the workforce or going to college.
As of last year, more than 1,200 families were able to get services from Open Doors for Multicultural Families. Staff members who come from the same culture and speak the same language match to the individual family, which helps the families better understand information, related laws, and the local support system. Services are offered in many different languages, including English, Spanish, Somali, Korean, and Chinese. Ginger Kwan gave a positive answer when asked about cooperation from the local government.
Yeah, this question, definitely. You know, our organization is funded by many different government agencies. Majority of our funding come from government. Locally, in Seattle, we call it King County. And in King County, there is a department called King County Developmental Disabilities Division and Early Childhood Division, Early Learning Division. So this division, they have funded us many different projects at this point. I think we have about 8 different projects are funded by them. And these projects, each project, we probably have around average of $200,000 budget-wise. So we are talking about more than $1.5 million funding come from our local government. And we work closely with each other. We meet regularly for different programs and services. We have a very good working relationship with our county local government.
Support activities of the institution across diverse fields gave us an impression that Open Doors for Multicultural Families is providing a good systematic care and support for multicultural families with differently abled children in the region based on a good understanding of their complex circumstances and special needs. Those developed support systems in the U.S. for multicultural families with differently abled children are able to shed light on the course Korea should take in the future to help these families living in the country enjoy better lives. According to the latest survey results from the Gwangju Jeonnam Research Institute, the number of children from multicultural families living in the region is increasing every year. So now we'll see the status of children with disabilities from multicultural families and then also find out the support activities provided by the local government.
굉장히 좀 심각한 저희 이제 비교라고 할 수 있는데 그래서 제가 전남 지역을 좀 살펴보면 지금 여성 결혼 이민자는 한 6만 6천 명 정도 있고요. 이제 이런 이제
A little more than 66,000 marriage immigrants reside in the area, and the number of multicultural families with disabilities is about 400. Approximately 13% of differently abled multicultural families in Korea find disability from their children. With those statistics, the number of registered differently abled children from multicultural families is estimated to be 50.
Gwangju City is carrying out 3 major projects to provide support for the differently abled children. Mi Young-jang, a public official at the Welfare for Disabled Division of Gwangju City Hall, gave a brief explanation about the overall operation.
장애인 복지과 지원 사업 중 다문화 가정, 장애 아동만을 대상으로 하는 특정한 사업은 없으며 장애를 가진 모든 아동을 대상으로 하고 있습니다.
There's no specific project only for differently abled children from multicultural families, but the services provided by our division are aimed at all children with disabilities. Our key support projects are caring services, rehabilitation services, and language development services. Also, 20 rental houses are run for those with developmental disabilities, aiming to encourage them to participate in the local community and make a living independently.
또한 발달 장애인의 경우에는 임대주택 20채를 운영을 통해 지역사회 참여 및 자립생활을 지원하고 있습니다.
Not only differently abled children, but also their parents are able to get support from Gwangju City to relieve the financial and psychological burden.
발달장애인 자녀를 돌보는 부모들은 여가, 경제적, 사회적 활동이 사실상 곤란하고
Parents who have children with developmental disabilities often find it hard to have leisure time or economic and social activities. Many of them suffer from mental difficulties too, so we provide psychological counseling for parents. Moreover, education to provide specialized information and parenting skills fit to different life stages of a person with developmental disabilities is provided.
Experts highlight the importance of identifying and treating children's disability in a timely manner, along with providing support for the entire family.
일반 학생들은 아직도 다문화 가정의 장애 학생 친구를 자신들과 다르다라고 생각하기보다는
There still remains the perception that differently abled children from multicultural families are wrong rather than just different. This could result in school violence or bullying. Therefore, awareness education regarding multicultural or disability needs to be more effectively introduced in schools.
더욱 확대될 필요가 있습니다.
Songshin Girls High School runs a special class for students with special needs, called Canola Class. Yeongjong belongs to 2 classes, a normal one and the Canola Class. Let's listen to the Canola Class teacher named Loha Lee.
2011년에 한 학급이 신설이 됐어요. 유채랑은 이제 Canola class was founded in 2011. When the first students of this class got into their senior year, we opened a barista course and also made a school cafe, 유채랑, as part of a vocational training program for them. It offers a well-rounded vocational education. Differently abled students are able to learn calculating, hospitality, and how to run a cafe while taking the barista course.
요새는 이제 바리스타 자격증도 할 수 있는 친구들은 따게 해가지고 취업도 하고 그러거든요. 그래서
Students in the canola class are able to have an opportunity to improve their social skills through the vocational training session in school and also prepare themselves before entering the wider community. Normal students of the school are willing to give a hand to their friends with special needs. There is a student club called Harmony in the school. While helping their students with special needs, club members are able to find and cultivate their good personality traits. It is the most popular club among students. Students at Sungshin Girls High School learn how to live together naturally. Normal students and their friends with special needs get along well and communicate to one another. These valuable experiences will become a great future asset for both normal and differently abled students to contribute to promoting a healthy awareness of multiculturalism and disability. Meanwhile, efforts from multicultural families with differently abled children are also essential to improve awareness of these families and also to draw attention to what they need. As members of the Korean society, they need to speak in a more active way. Thinking Tree, BB Center, is a multicultural family support organization located in Seoul. The center visits a neighboring middle school today for a multicultural awareness class. Sujong Lee, who came from Nepal, comes out as a special teacher today.
근데 네팔은 명절이나 뭐 결혼식이나 생일이나 생일이나 이렇게 기쁘면 이렇게 춤춰요. 그래서 세계에서 제일 춤 잘 추는 나라예요. 전통춤도 우리가 여러 가지 춤으로 있습니다. 아까 이마에 붙이는 거는 그거 티가라고요. 그거 뜻은 인생에 이렇게 화려하게 살려고 뜻이에요. 빨간색 조금 화려하잖아요. 그런 뜻으로 인생을 그렇게 재밌게 살으라는 뜻이에요. 재밌죠?
Sunhwa An, the head of the organization, carefully observes the class and gives the teacher feedback.
세 명이 지금 친구는 사진 찍으니까 듀얼로 가고 쌤도 쌤 할 때만 딱 앞에 나오고 그다음에 옆에 가 있어요. 그거를 분명해야 돼요. 그리고 아까 동작 하나하나 알려주고 내가 이 동작 할 때 남자
Teach dance moves one by one. You can dance with a boy student together after teaching him the motions.
1시간 수업을 할 수 있어요. 그것이 수행된 능력이야.
Thinking Tree BB Center not only helps immigrant parents to settle down well in Korea, but also leads multicultural awareness campaigns.
지금 현재 활동은 다문화 인식 개선 교육을 진행을 하고 그리고
Our center proceeds with diverse education programs to increase perception of multiculture. The differently abled, multicultural families with differently abled children, single-parent families, and so on. We encourage immigrants to engage in many activities, such as teaching their mother tongue. Those who are good at singing and dancing are able to participate in performances. Mentoring programs for children are also run to help them adapt to their lives in Korea.
자녀들이 맞춤형 멘토링 사업이라면도 진행을 하고 있습니다.
Sunhwa An has come across lots of hardships as a Chinese immigrant who has a child with Down syndrome. In the hope that other immigrant parents wouldn't go through what she has experienced, she established the organization. She also volunteers to become a counselor for multicultural families with differently abled children. She has recently met with and given some advice to a Filipino mother who has a son with a developmental disability.
이 친구가 애가 발달 장애예요.
She has a daughter with developmental disability. As her daughter doesn't show any difference from other kids of her age in outer appearance, she couldn't identify the delay at the early stage. She said the situation was so stressful for her to deal with.
한참 했어요. 1시간 넘도록 이야기하니 같은 생각을 갖고 같은 고민을 갖고 마음이 힘든 분들이 같이 이야기하는 것이
I feel really rewarded that I can identify with and give some help to those who have similar difficulties. I love my job, though I can't make money with counseling.
돈은 못 벌지만 어쨌든 누구한테 보람을 느낄 수 있는 일을 할 수 있다는 것이 즐거움입니다.
It's been not that long since Korea became a multicultural society. Living in Korea with immigrant backgrounds is not easy. Multicultural families with differently abled children often have a harder time due to the double difficulty of disability and a multicultural background. The domestic support system for these families or public recognition of them in Korea leaves much to be desired. However, there's plenty of room for improvement. If we apply well-developed overseas support systems and adapt them to become more suitable to Korean society, diverse welfare policies customized for each child or family need to be prepared rather than categorizing them into a specific group. And for doing that, establishing healthy public recognition should be the most important thing.
다문화 장애인 분들은 불편한 것도 많고 장애라는 것과 다문화라는 것이 합쳐져서 많이 힘든데 저는 다문화여서 좋은 점이 많거든요. 예를 들어서 엄마가 일본 분이셔서 저는 일본어를 할 수 있고 일본어를 할 수 있으니까 일본 사람들과도 얘기를 하고 소통을 할 수 있고 그래서 되게 그 언어적으로도 좋은 점이 많아요. 그리고 장애를 갖고 있다고 해서 힘든 점도 많지만 장애를 갖고 있어서 그 보통 사람들은 그냥 지나쳐버릴 것들도 저희들은 유심히 보고 그 장애인 분들은 자기가 장애가 있다는 것만으로도 주눅이 들어서 약간 하고 싶은 것들을 잘 하지 못하고 사는 것 같아요. 밖에 나가봐도 장애인 분들은 별로 못 보거든요. 그 병원에는 분명히 많은데 그 밖에 나가면 별로 없어요. 장애가 있다고 막 이상한 사람이 아니고 자기는 약간 특별한 사람이다라고 생각해서 자기는 조금 다를 뿐이지 저희들도 좋은 점이 되게 많은 것 같은데 장애인분들도 꼭 힘내셔서 그 하고 싶은 거 다 하고 먹고 싶은 거 다 먹고 맛집 탐방 같은 것도 하고 막 여러 가지 있을 거예요. 자기가 하고 싶은 것들 그런 것들을 다 해보셨으면 좋겠어요.
A small step can make a difference if we all step forward together. all parts of the society, ranging from the mainstream community, government bodies, and multicultural family support organizations, to the families themselves, should work together so the discussion to address their difficulties is able to continue. We, Gwangju Foreign Language Network, pursuing multi-language broadcasting, will continue our efforts to improve awareness of multicultural families with differently abled children in the Korean society by making good broadcasts. We hope our small step will be able to lead to greater attention to all multicultural families with differently abled children living in the Gwangju Janam area and also the whole country.